Всем привет, это Вильям Плей. Я нахожусь на космической станции под названием Ключ. И сейчас я зашел в бар в Багровом флоте под названием... Торговая площадка. Под названием Последняя Нова. Или Last Nova. Не знаю даже, какое будет какой будет финальный перевод. Вот, и сейчас мне надо поговорить с Матисом, а это Starfield на русском языке, версия перевода номер 062. Последнюю версию перевода можно скачать по ссылке в описании, там же можно найти ссылку для поддержки проекта. Матис Кастильо.
Hey, I wanted to thank you one last time for not ratting me onto Delgado and telling him how much I pitched in. That was pretty damn cool. If he would have found out what I was planning, well, I don't even want to think about what could have happened.
Только помни о том, что ты мне должен.
Oh yeah, sure. Anything you need, you just ask, and I'll be there to back you up. You just, take care of yourself out there.
Поговорить с Наевой теперь надо. Поговорим и с ней тоже. Кстати, я так вижу, что вот по этому квесту все О, что там только нету. Все диалоги переведены, потому что, ну, как бы... Нормально, перевод есть. Адекватный, без каких-то этих... Бог!
The name's Fergus Wickham, but you can call me Bog. Welcome to the Last Nova, where the drinks are never free.
Я-то пропу. Я только что нашел свой новый дом вдали от дома.
As long as you're buying, stay as long as you like. The Last Nova never sleeps, so no last call here. Since it's your first time with us, I'm willing to make an exception to the rule and offer you my speciality on the house. One free bottle of Bog's Grog.
Звучит отвратительно, я согласен.
That's the spirit. I knew you'd be the adventurous type. And if you like it, you're in luck. Cheapest drink you can find, and guaranteed to drown those sorrows.
Что-нибудь можешь сказать о баре «Последняя Нова»?
Nova wasn't always the lovely sight you see before you. She used to be a hydro farm and put up quite a fight when we decided to give her a makeover. Overgrown water everywhere. Almost gave up. But what's a proper home without a pub, eh?
Ясно. Особо тут больше не с кем, да, поговорить? Только с Богом, Матисом и Наевой. У нее руки в ноги провалились.
I'm not about to let a payday slip through my fingers. So guess what? You're gonna finish the job for me.
Что ты имеешь в виду?
I'm about to tell you, so shut up and listen. Rokov's been tipping me off about some kind of bullshit charity event that the Siren of the Stars is hosting. At the event, they're gonna give away something called the Earth Savior Award, which is worth tens of thousands of credits. So it's simple. While you're on the Siren, swiping those Galbait credentials, I want you to grab that award and bring it to me.
Как премия может стоить столько денег?
From the pictures I've seen, the award is set with 12 blue diamonds and covered in gold filigree. If I get Jazz to take it apart, I can turn it into a hell of a lot of cash. And best of all, the components become untraceable.
Да ё-моё, почему я хочу просто полистать варианты колесиком, а откатываюсь назад? Руководитель Галбанк имеет какое-то отношение к этой награде?
No. Dombrowski's only aboard to use the Galbank VIP suite, so he can catch a free ride at the company's expense. I'm sure he'll be there partying with the other spoiled brats. That Guarantee he doesn't give a crap about what's going on at the event.
Как по мне, стоит сосредоточиться на наследии Крикса.
And I'd prefer to have the money that award's worth in my account. So you're just gonna have to deal with it. Look, you can make all the jokes and excuses you want. But if you don't come back with the ES award, I'm gonna deduct it from your pay. Either way, I get my money. How much you walk away with is in your own hands. Got it?
Я достану тебе эту чертову награду.
Then it's settled. Good. All right, Rook, we're done here. Now, get your ass to the siren and bring me my goods.
Отлично.
Stay sharp, Rook.
Мне нужно доложить. Баллистическое оружие наносит больше урона. Отлично. Здесь можно просто так взять кредиты. Это тоже мне нравится. Так. Ну и что? Где я вообще? Я вот здесь. Как мне на корабль попасть? Вот в чем у меня вообще вопрос. Ой. Ой-ой-ой. Показать меня. Неужели мне надо вручную теперь идти до своего корабля? Бесячая ситуация. Ну, ладно. А что у меня по заданиям, кстати? Мне надо... О, пообщаться с Геннадием в клинике. Доложить... А где у меня Геннадий находится? Он где-то здесь. Или нет? Доковый отсек. Возможно, что он в клинике на какой-нибудь планете. До этой планеты еще лететь полгалактики. Да? О, интервью с
Hello
Криксом.
everyone, I'm Gail Dunnigan of SSNN, and this is Galactic Talk. My guest tonight is one of the most notorious criminals in the settled systems. His ruthlessness and desire for wealth has landed him squarely at the top of the wanted list for every major law enforcement agency in the galaxy. I am, of course, speaking of the self-appointed leader of the Crimson Fleet himself, Jasper Crix. Good evening, Mr. Crix.
Good evening, Gail. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Yes, well, being blindfolded and then Grav jumped to what appears to be an abandoned mining facility isn't exactly what I'd call an invitation.
Well, I'm sure you're not surprised that your request for an interview would come with some very specific conditions.
Frankly, I was a bit surprised to receive any type of response at all. Would you mind telling me why you decided to do this interview?
Because there comes a time in every pirate's life where they have to make an extremely important decision. Do they take a leap and become one of the most legendary pirates in history? Or do they simply sputter on, subsisting on freighters and deep space privateers?
So are we to assume that you're taking the leap? That Jasper Crix is moving on to bigger and better things in his life?
That's spot on, Gail. That's exactly why you're here.
Interesting. Well then, would you mind sharing with us exactly what your particular leap entails?
In due time. There's no rush. In fact, I'd say we have at least 12 hours before the authorities trace this broadcast. Plenty of time to discuss whatever you like.
Oh, all right then. Perhaps the best place to start this interview would be at the beginning of your career.
Please, proceed.
Что ж, это очень интересно. Вот я нашел первую часть, нашел шестую часть. Осталось найти недостающие кусочки, и мы погрузимся реально в историю Джаспера Крикса, основателя Багрового флота. Это классно. Мне прям очень нравится, как это преподнесено. Ребята, вы все это время тут ждали? Так, а как мне получить доступ к грузовому отсеку? Я что-то не понял. А, вот. Перенос, значит, инвентарь. Ресурсы. Сложить. Серьезно? Фронтир. А, действительно заполнен на максимум. Действительно. Так, научно-исследовательская станция. Благовоние. Одно благовоние внесем. Ага. Значит, здесь нужен ранг химии 1. Здесь нужен ранг гастрономия. Здесь нужен ранг проектирования аванпостов и зоология. Проектирование скафандров, а здесь оружейная инженерия. То есть все это, оно вот здесь. Проектирование скафандров, оружейная инженерия, зоология, химия, аванпосты. Да. Надо вот здесь все, короче, открывать будет. Что ж. До всего доберемся со временем. А теперь садимся на место пилота. И смотрим, куда нам надо полететь. Отстыковались. И весь космос перед нами. Так. На Рион. Пообщаться с Геннадием. И звездная станция, на которой мы, кстати, еще и не были ни разу. Неисследованный маршрут. Расход топлива 50, 72. Не можем прыгнуть. Значит, надо... Ой. Так, сейчас. Включаюсь в процесс. До Нариона мы не можем прыгнуть. Значит, мы можем прыгнуть до... Лунары, например. Проложить курс. А почему у меня также расход топлива 34, там 50? Почему у меня не увеличивается дальность прыжка? Или увеличивается? Просто мне это так явно не отображается. Не могу понять. Ладно. Пока пусть будет так. Лунара. Отлично. Веста, система Лунара. Хорошо. О, уже исследовано 34%. Так, и теперь... Нарион. Звездная станция. Прыжок. О, теперь можем прыгнуть. Ну, 40 очков опыта еще получил. Так, прыгаем еще раз. Это мы уже совершаем, получается, 2 гравитационных прыжка. Таким образом. Да, процесс идет. А, клиника это не просто какая-то клиника, это так место называется. Прикол. Ну что ж, теперь нам надо к ней подлететь поближе. А именно на 500 этих самых. Чтобы мы могли пристыковаться к клинике. появится буква R. Стыковка. Отлично. На борт. Добавлено депало результата экспедиции. Что за депало?
Ma'am, I'm just a courier.
I understand that. I'm not blaming you directly. Dr. Salvato, how long have you been here?
About a year now, Doctor.
And in that year, how many times have we had this conversation about late or missing shipments of supplies?
I believe this is the third time.
Yes, that sounds right. 3 times. I will be making it very clear to your superiors that lives are at stake, and the clinic requires reliable transport. If your company cannot meet our needs, someone else will.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Thank you, Dr. Salvato. You may return to your duties.
Все, сцена закончилась, и чувак сразу начинает смотреть на
Never
меня.
get here fast enough.
Техника по обслуживанию судов, киоск управления торговли. Короче, это какой-то медицинская какая-то станция.
Ranger?
Давайте поговорим вот с Ларой.
Running this facility is a challenge, even when there isn't an outbreak of some sort. Welcome to the clinic. I'm Dr. Darvish, Chief of Medicine. Is there something I can do for you?
Это медицинское учреждение?
I thought perhaps the name gave it away. This is one of the preeminent medical care centers in the settled systems. We take our work very seriously.
Я просто осматриваюсь.
This is hardly the sort of place one comes to sightsee. We have a particular focus on astrovirology here. So the patients we take on tend to have unusual cases that require long-term care, and sometimes require unorthodox or experimental treatments. We have an excellent track record that speaks for itself, but it doesn't leave room for much else. Now, I will not insist that you leave, but if you are intent on looking around, as you put it, please don't interfere with our work and keep your distance from our patients.
Я хотел бы помочь в ваших исследованиях.
Would you now? Well, I suppose we could always use additional research specimens. The more data we have about what's out there in the settled systems, the faster we can diagnose novel illnesses. In theory, at least. I suppose we could consider you an independent contractor of sorts. Analgesics can offer some novel pathways in helping us manage our patients' pain. More examples from the worlds around us would be helpful.
Собрать энергетик для доктора Дарвиш. Хорошо.
Goodbye.
Соберем. Там-пам-пам-пам.
Not exactly a hotbed of criminal activity here, is it? Well, worst I usually have to deal with is folks worried about getting diagnosed fast enough. Can't blame them.
Как давно вы являетесь рейнджером Содружества?
Well, let's see now. I joined up in 2292, so that'd be 38 years now? Damn. Hard to believe, now that I think about it. Almost 40 years. There ain't been many Rangers who served that long, I can promise you that.
Это впечатляет.
Oh, thank you kindly. I've enjoyed the work, and I'm proud to serve. I suppose I don't think much about it, but when I stop to count the years, well, they sure do add up.
Ясно. Ну, здесь ничего нельзя взять, да, все можно только украсть. Поэтому не буду особо нигде рыскать.
Can't let you through here.
Так, что похожу, посмотрю. Даниил Кирова. Это же, наверное, это кто? Это кто? Не хочет со мной говорить. Странное просто у него имя какое-то. Эбединг.
We get the cases no one has ever seen before or doesn't know how to treat.
Бывает ли у вас перерыв?
I guess that depends on what you consider a break. We get some time to ourselves. We're not on call all the time, but we're never that far away from it either. Now that I think about it, I haven't actually left the clinic since I got the job. I actually hadn't really noticed.
Я не мог долго находиться в одном месте.
It's not like I was surprised. I knew what I was signing up for. There's no other opportunity like this in the settled systems. It's not ideal, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Ясно.
Bye.
Бай-бай.
You'd be surprised how many times I have to argue that we prioritize tech updates.
А, это которая главная? Да?
Are you the courier? You're not really supposed to be back
А, нет, не она.
You can just drop the delivery off by the docking port and someone will take care of it.
Я не курьер.
Well, then you won't have Dr. Darvish breathing down your neck at least. But, well, we're not really set up for having folks just milling about in here. It is a medical facility after all. If you could just do your best to steer clear of the doctors while they work and not interrupt things, I'd really appreciate it. And if you need anything, I'm right here, okay?
Окей. Это должно быть захватывающее место работы.
Oh, sometimes sure. Somebody walks in or is dragged in with something we haven't seen before. You best believe it's all hands on deck. Have to find out if it's lethal or contagious, or both.
Это очень большая нагрузка.
It can be, yes. But we've all learned to live with it. If we didn't do this, who knows how many lives would be lost. It's harder on the newer folks, that's for sure. You take that Dr. Salvato. Nice man, but he's a little on the skittish side. He's a good doctor, but just needs a little more confidence, you know?
Я могу симулировать болезнь, если это поможет.
Oh, aren't you a dear? No, he'll do just fine. He just needs some time. Actually, now that we're talking about this, I wanted to do something nice for him. Give him a little pick-me-up. I overheard something about a meal he hadn't had in a long time. Thought maybe if I could deliver one to him, it'd be a nice gesture. You think you could help with that?
К вашим услугам.
Aren't you just the sweetest? You know that Don's Roost restaurant in New Atlantis? The fancy one? Dr. Salvato was talking about the synth liver pate. Said he'd never forget it. You bring me a plate and I'll make sure we brighten up his day.
Ну, наконец-то, хоть какой-то квест я нашел. Почему я вот так вот стою выше нее, но когда мы общаемся, я как будто приседаю? Странно, да? Так.
This place is a far cry from the city.
Тебя как зовут? Асиан Сальвата. Я хотел бы помочь, если смогу. Куда ты ушел? Сюда иди.
There really isn't anything you're qualified to do in here. No offense, of course. But, I do have some data requests from other facilities in the settled systems. Everyone always wants to know what we're up to. Usual courier has been less than reliable lately. So if you could get this slate where it needs to go, that would help us. And put a few credits in your pocket.
Отлично.
See you later.
Отлично. Ари Миллер, ты кто такой?
Whatever you do, don't unplug anything. You do, and I'll make sure you wind up in one of these hospital beds. I'm kidding. Sort of.
Что за история с этим местом?
Oh, you're not familiar? I'll give you the quick version. UC built the station back in 2194. It was outside of their established territory, which caused a bit of a disagreement and a bit of a war. And after what I think most people would agree was much too long a period of time, the war ends. One of the terms was the station was handed over to the Free Star Collective.
Значит, объединенные колонии проиграли войну.
I wasn't there, but it sounds like one of those situations where both sides claim they won, but the reality was that no one did. So since then, the clinic's been under Free Star Collective control. Over 100 years now, I think. Over time, it started to focus more on weird things people picked up on all sorts of planets and space expeditions, became known for it, and now focuses on it almost exclusively. And here we are today, carrying on that work. Actually makes me feel kind of proud when I lay it all out like that.
Ясно.
Have a good one.
чувак. Так. Что, я со всеми уже пообщался, что ли? Был какой-то доктор еще не уверенный в себе. Где он? Так-то тут много народу, у которых есть имя, история, с ними можно поболтать. Джейн Накамори.
I'd rather not have you in here. I'd like some privacy. Excuse me, but this is my private.
Понял. Джефф, Джон, персонал клиники.
Well,
Hey there.
at least it can't get any worse. Well, no, it definitely can, but trying to stay.
Почему у него рот не двигается? Вы здесь пациент?
That I am. Lucky to be alive, apparently. Me and my brother here have been patients for going on, what, 4 or 5 months now? Good Lord. I, being the stronger and smarter one, am recovering quickly. Still sick as a dog, but doctors let me roam around to visit my infirm brother here. He was in a coma for months. He's only now making some sort of recovery.
Что произошло?
This genius brother of mine was begging me to go on a hike with him on Aquila. He's a real outdoorsy type, you know. Now, being a man of letters, I didn't want to go, but he just kept yapping. So, we go on this hike, right? We don't know where the hell we're going. Well, we got lost, stranded with no food or water. I told him to pack food and water, but the fool forgot. Well, we start scavenging for some food to sustain us, and we come across this thing, like a plant, but I don't know what the hell the damn thing was. Looked tasty enough, so we ate it. Well, the damn thing nearly killed us both. Turns out we weren't even that far from the city, so we were found by some passerby, and here we are. We got real lucky.
Ну, по крайней мере, ты выжил.
Yeah, well, not out of the woods just yet. Things have been pretty hairy for John here. But I think you're right. It'll take more than that to kill the Joseph brothers. Take care now.
Джозеф. Братья Иосифа, это типа братья Джозефа. Перевод, конечно, топ. Офигеть, она здоровая, как она скачет. Так. Что-то я последнего доктора грустного не могу найти. Вот, но зато я могу сейчас пойти. Это не ты? Не ты. Где грустный доктор? Может, в Starfield? Может, в туалете? Please dispose of contained items in the... Ага. VIP. Крыло. Капец, реально тут огромное пространство. Серия будет опять длинная. Break room. Серия будет очень длинная. Доктор Кэссиди. А вот он, Титус Кэссиди. А здесь storage. Офигеть, это у них склад такой огромный. Но взять ничего нельзя, только спереть. Робот-медик. Так, ладно, я хочу поговорить в следующей серии с доктором Кэссиди. И хочу поговорить в следующей серии с тем чуваком, ради которого мы сюда приехали. Но это уже в следующий раз. На этом всем спасибо и всем пока.